We found that the other mound was just a little further on the right, and it was a pretty good sized mound. I think it might have actually been bigger than the other ones. It was probably Mound A, but we never did see the Mound C. Okay, that is it, and I do believe it looks higher than the other one. I really do. I believe it is, yeah, it's a lot higher than the other one on this other side. Yeah, definitely, for sure. That has to be Mound A. And you know, they cut that and probably down with the roadway, because you can see where it's been cut down. The highway messed it up. And since one's going in, and this is the one over here that we passed a while ago, yeah, that one's definitely higher than this one. So that had to be Mound A. This is probably Mound B. And they said Mound C was falling into the creek, so it's probably somewhere right in here near the creek. Don't know where it could, that could be part of one there. I don't know. Don't know where Mound C is. But this is the creek right here, so it's got to be along this creek right here. It's a beautiful creek. Wow. Well, for some reason, we come all the way down to Natchez, Mississippi, to the Grand Village and can't get in there. But I'm going to hold it up where you can see the mounds. There's one right there. There's one to the left, a small one. And then there's one right there. And I don't know if there'll be any more than that, but... And we didn't get to go to the museum, so I'm disappointed. We didn't get to go to the museum in the other place because it was closed. This is Emerald Mound, and it says here it's the second largest. My information said it was the third, but it's shorter than Poverty Point, but it's way longer than Poverty Point, way longer than so. And no, I didn't. Okay.
You got the keys? Yep. I'll go lock it because our person's in there.
Yeah, before we walk up. And this is a sign. And I believe it has a picture on the back. So, yeah, it shows it. Okay. Okay, as I walk, I'm going to tell you a little bit about these mounds. Oh, okay, now I see this end. This end is higher than Poverty Point. Now, I didn't see this end up here. But that's because it's got a mound on this end and a mound on that end. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. It covers about 8 acres. And it is astonishing. And it is the third largest pre-Columbian earthwork. I think Cahokia Mounds is the Monk's Mound at Cahokia, in other words, is the first one, and then Poverty Point, and then this one. We're going to walk up here. It's situated in the highest point, and around here, as you can see, everything else is a lot lower. There are some counts in history in the early 19th century about there being a platform and having 2 secondary mounds, which they have now. We're at the top, and you can see they've got 2 mounds up here. And the first excavation took place here in the late 1880s, and then they had one in 1972. That was the last one they did. And they believe that the main platform was constructed in 3 stages, and they began that around 1350. But they think that it's built, or they believe from excavations it was built on a site that was used earlier than 1200 AD. It is a Mississippian village. And this mound down here and this one up here were built in 2 stages. They had artifacts. They found artifacts here that show, or well, they think there was residential buildings on it. Let's see what else about this. I think they moved from here to Natchez, where we were, to what they call the Grand Village that was not open. earlier, but this was originally their home in this area, which to me is actually prettier and nicer. It was recognized by the National Park Service in 1955, put on the National Register of Historic Places, designated as a Natural Historic Landmark, and it's located on the Natchez Trail. Now this place used to be called Seltzertown site, and they changed it to Emerald Mound, and I think that's because of a plantation that was here, maybe. I think that's what they said. And it's from the Plaquemine culture, from the Mississippian period. So, okay. I wonder if this is supposed to be mowed around this thing, because it sure looks like a little earthenwork, or if it was borrow pits, because I know they got some borrow pits somewhere. I don't know where they'd be, but this looks like a moat, and looks like an earthwork on that side, so it might be what that is. What do you think, Joyce? This over here looks like an earthwork, like it's got a moat and an earthwork on this other side. You think it might be? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. This is a sign for the Foster Mound, and this is the other side of the sign. I'm not going to get close because it's on private property, but I do want to see it. And there's going to be one up here at this house, and we passed one right down yonder, which I'll get in a minute. But for right now, okay, here this house is sitting on it. So it's pretty, looks like it's been there a long time. So, but we're not going to teach at this site because there's just really not enough room to pull over and do anything, but I did want it to be part of this video. Okay, you can actually see the mound from this tree. It says to view them for the sign, so I guess we can actually get to the sign. It's really nice. It's a pretty good sized mound. You can actually see it pretty good right here. It just kind of hurts my heart though that the mound's being driven on, and yeah, they have them and we can't even walk on them. But it's what it is. Okay, this is the back side of the sign. This is the front side of the sign. This is the Windsor ruins. They owned this house here, had this house, and they owned all of the land that entailed the mounds in this area. And I think they died a long time ago. But anyway, as I said, I've read somewhere where they wanted to fix this up, but they have never done so. But I just thought it was a fascinating place. There's a lot more history on it. I didn't actually read the sign a while ago, but I can go up here and get a picture of it. Look at this. Man, you're fine. It's just amazing to me. You from around here, or?
No, I'm from Alabama.
We are too. We're from
really?
Yeah, I'm from Talladega. She's from Roanoke, and this other lady's from West Virginia. We just met up here in Mississippi to come some places. Go ahead.
the riverboats coming down the river from north to south use this as a marker to locate what part of the river they're on, because it can be seen from the river, and you can see the river from the house.
Wow, that's awesome, man. I bet that view is amazing in that up there in the top of that.
Well, you know, back then all this land would be cleared and cotton.
Yeah.
Planted whatever.
And cane or something. It might have been even planted cane with the name Cane Mound. Where you going, Kimmer? Oh, that is a big old tree, isn't it? It is just so hard to believe that they could see the Mississippi from here, but I imagine if it was clear, like he said, pasture land, they probably could. I can't imagine this house. This was, oh man. I'd love to have seen it in its heyday, buddy. That is just something else. I'm just kind of blown away by it. So old. I know it burned at some point, but the man died right after he built it, and it was huge. So, wow. The adjacent mound site on this includes 4 Indian mounds overlooking a tributary of the Bayou Pierre. And I think there's also a mound at Bayou Pierre, but it's too complicated to find. But it's Mound A is the best preserved one, and it's the only one that you can see from the road. And I think it's going to be like 30 feet high. The other mounds, they said they ranged in height from 3 to 15 feet. And it was also, this area was a huge colonial settlement back in the 1790s. And I think the house burned in 1890 during a party or something. So we're going to go on and see the mounds. Okay, this is probably one of the hardest ones to see, but I can see the edge coming right down through there. Let's see. Yeah, this is the tracing it. Yeah. And there was 3 of these originally, I think, but they're grown, probably the wood's all grown up. They might have some fell in that big old crevice we saw back there, who knows.